Welcome and welcome back, everybody. It's your boy Corey, and the first round of the NBA draft is now over. If you tuned into my live yesterday, we had some fun. It was definitely a lot of surprises. Some people going a little higher than I expected. A lot of people going a little lower than I expected. And that's what we're going to talk about in this video today. But of course, I can't go throughout this whole video without mentioning my Washington Wizards. Grab AJ DeBonsta, UC Preem bullets on the hat, and I'm excited, super excited. Definitely plan on doing a video probably just strictly on the Wizards, but yeah, maybe later down the line. But today we're gonna get into the first round steals, the NBA draft first round steals. Like I said, a lot of people went a little higher than I expected. Like Bennett Sturts went higher than I expected. Ibuka Okori went a little higher than I thought he would, even though I believe he was like a lottery talent. But I also think realistically, I didn't think he was gonna go that high. But yeah, let me just get right into it. Like, my guy Cam Carr goes 24 to the Knicks, but gets traded to the Lakers. I mean, there's no way we let this guy fall to the Lakers of all teams. So he gets to go play next to Luka, and now Austin Reeves, who just signed a brand new contract, I believe 4 years, 180, something like that, with a player option on the end. But he gets to be able to go to Los Angeles. He won't be asked to be on ball as much, can play off the ball, can just come straight off the screens and just shoot the ball, get to the rim. It's super athletic. So I would be intrigued to see how JJ Redick uses him, and maybe in some inverted screen and roll with Luka as him as the screen roller to get a lob going, or even as a pick and popper to get some threes, and maybe a screen roll into a flare to get him open. But yeah, I mean, it kind of takes the weight off of him offensively, and he can just go in and be a 3-and-D guy and really focus on knocking down shots and defending at a really high level. But he falls to 24. This is somebody who, like, if you tuned into my live, I mean, I was saying he might come off the board at like 9. Now, granted, like I said, probably like my favorite player in this draft, so I thought he could have went at about 9, but realistically, he was more so in that 14 to 18 range. But honestly, once he fell past Chicago, I was like, ew, what's going on? I don't know when he's finally going to go, but he ends up going 24, gets traded to the Los Angeles Lakers. I think it's a really good spot for him. Now, do I think that this is a good spot for him in terms of where I think that he can be as like a star in this league? Probably not. But in terms of a long NBA career and being able to stick in the NBA, I think the Lakers are a really good spot for him. Moving on to our next guy, we have Karim Lopez, yet another one of my guys in this draft. Shout out to the Memphis Grizzlies front office. A masterful use of trading down and acquiring assets to get the guy that you want. I believe they started at pick 16. They had pick 3, Cameron Boozer, and then they started at 16. They traded that to Oklahoma City for 2 second round picks, and then Detroit moves up to 19, I believe, 18 or 19, switches with them. They move back to 21. They get 3 more second-round picks, so acquire 5 second-round picks, and you go and get Karim Lopez, who I thought was a lottery talent, or at least right outside the lottery at like that 15, 16 spot. I thought Karim Lopez definitely could have went that high. I mean, you put him next to Cam Boozer at the 3, 2 super physical, super strong, super style guys. Not, the fastest and the quickest, but with him, Cam, and Zach Edey, that's a bruising front court, definitely. But I mean, a guy that can do it all, can really do everything. I kind of compared him to like Jalen Johnson with like just a little bit less playmaking. If he can get his shot right, I mean, man, it would be really scary, especially having him next to Cam Boozer. Like I said, just a super bruising lineup, and just a real masterful way to navigate the back half of this first round for the Memphis Grizzlies. I really like what they did. Yeah, LeBaron Furlan was still there on the board. He's probably somebody that he's probably somebody they looked at, but I think this kind of signals that we're moving ahead with at least trying to see how Ja looks with this team. And even if not, we still have Ty Jerome on the roster, so he can give us some good minutes and some good guard play in the meantime. But I mean, Karim Lopez, like I said, I think he's going to be really good in this league. At the bare minimum, I think he's going to be like a serviceable stretch forward. I think he definitely needs to get way better on the defensive end to play at that 3 if he's going to be playing at the 3 in Memphis. but I think that's something that they can work on. Obviously, that front office knows what they're doing, being able to acquire 5 second-round picks and move back, I think 5 spots it is. But yeah, some really, really good asset management from the Memphis Grizzlies, and they get an absolute steal in Kareem Lopez. Now, next on my list, I just mentioned him, LeBaron Philon falls down to the Philadelphia 76ers. Throughout the entire draft process, we knew at least one of these guards was going to be the one to fall. And I kind of thought that it would be either a Christian Anderson or a Bennett Sturts, but Christian Anderson goes early to the Charlotte Hornets, and then Bennett Sturts, he's traded up for from the Thunder. Yeah, I mean, just super, super crazy. And then for him to go to a spot like the Sixers, who already have a Maxey and an Edgecombe, not an ideal position for him, but I'm sure that he's, super ecstatic for being drafted in the first round in the first place. So, I mean, I'm sure he's happy to get to work and kind of prove everybody wrong. But, I mean, Philly, they did need a backup guard. And, I mean, to get a backup guard of this caliber, this late in the draft, yeah, you just go and grab him. I mean, he was the best player available since, like, pick 14, 15, something like that. Like, he had been on the board as the best player available for a while. So, for the Philadelphia 76ers, I think it was a relatively easy choice. I'm more so like, go draft who you think is the best player available, even though like a Chris Nack Jr. Probably was a better fit necessarily. But yeah, LeBaron Philon he's going to be like fine. He's going to be amazing coming off the bench for the Philadelphia 76ers, being able to give them some more depth and some scoring punch off the bench, which Lord knows they need. I think he's going to prove a lot of people wrong in the NBA circles, because I'm pretty sure the consensus had him as like a borderline lottery guy. But he falls all the way to Philadelphia. So, I mean, I hope that this can maybe even be like a Jalen Brunson type of situation where, hey, he's really, really good coming off the bench. He has a chance to start, and he looks amazing. And, he can go in free agency or via trade and get his own team and be that offensive engine that we know that he can be, and he showed us at Alabama. Next, we have probably one of the most polarizing players in this draft as a whole. Jaden Quainance goes to the San Antonio Spurs at pick 20. Now, this guy was basically like locked into the lottery up until about 1 to 2 weeks before the draft, and I'm pretty sure it's because of his medicals. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I heard that he's going to need another ACL surgery. I hope that that's not true, but even if it is true, being able to get this guy at 20, with his defensive, like I keep saying, his defensive tape is nasty. Like, it's definitely a really good defensive talent to have, especially to get him at 20 when a lot of the draft cycle he was projected to go in the lottery. So you can have him coming off the bench as opposed to a Luke Cornett, or even putting him next to Wemby. I'm not really sure how that would fit, considering he's not the greatest offensively. But I mean, I'm sure it's San Antonio. They'll work it out. But yeah, for him to fall to 20. Really good spot for him. And they also grabbed Terrence Reed in the first round, so it's not like he has to come in and contribute right away. He can come in, get his medicals right, improve a little bit more, and maybe in a year or two we say, hey, like, maybe we should have took a chance on him in the lottery. But hey, going to an organization like San Antonio, we know how they do with player development. I'm really excited for him. I really, really am. And I'm excited to see like what San Antonio, the direction they're going to go with him. Are we going to try and make him a guy that we can play next to Wemby, or are we just going to kind of groom him to be our backup center of the future? Regardless, like I said, probably one of the most polarizing players in this draft, probably right behind Nate Ament. Unfortunately, he gets the short end of the stick in that sense. But nonetheless, like I said, really, really good situation for Jaden Quainance, and I'm sure he's excited and happy, and I'm sure the Spurs front office is jumping up and down for joy to be able to get this lottery talent at pick number 20. And last but not least, this is a guy who I thought was going to go 20 to San Antonio. I had him mocked here for literally like every single mock that I've done. Chris Nack Jr. goes 28 to the Boston Celtics. This is another pick where it's like, how do we let this happen? How do we let him fall to Boston? Because he's going to be good. Like, he's going to be good. And especially now going to Boston in their developmental system, he is going to be good. Super versatile defender, switchable defender, can go out and guard the perimeter a little bit. A really, really good rebounder, projects to be a good shooter, has solid form, and can come in and just kind of be like, I mean, he's not really going to be asked of too much on the offensive end, except for maybe, catch and shoot threes, rebound the ball, run the floor in transition, block shots, defend, and you're good. Like, that's it. Kind of similar to what he was asked to do in Houston. So he can come into a similar situation and kind of be comfortable, but can get behind some NBA trainers and some NBA development and can develop that shot into maybe being like a 30, 36, 37% three-point shooter. Now, if he can get to that at, what is he, 6'10" without shoes, so 6'11", 7'5" wingspan. How do we let this happen? How do we let this guy fall to Boston of all teams? I mean, obviously we know that Jaylen Brown, his name has been circling around in trade rumors, so who knows who Chris Neck's teammates are gonna be this year or moving forward. But that has nothing to do with Chris Neck. He falls to 28. Great situation for him, just like Jaden Quainez, and really just like every other guy on this list. Really, really good situations for these players, fit-wise. But, you know, obviously losing the money, falling down out of the lottery and things of that nature, not really, you know, not really something you want. But I'm sure all these guys just are ready to get to their destinations and prove everybody wrong. And I can't blame them. If you enjoyed that video, man, make sure you leave a like. Let me know in the comments who you believe is the biggest steal of this 2026 NBA draft. We have the second round of the draft going on tonight, I believe at 8. I won't be live for that, but I will be posting a video tomorrow, either tomorrow or the day after. We're going to be grading all of these teams' draft classes, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Sub up, turn your noti bells on so you know when that video comes out. It's been your boy Corey, man, and I'm out.